Everyone, it's your girl Sherelle. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I want to thank y'all for joining me this Tuesday like y'all do every Tuesday. I got a great show in store for you. But before I go any further, make sure you click that button in your lower right corner and share this live with 3 friends you think would love the conversation, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share before I get into anything, honey. We got a lot to talk about today, you guys. I'm super excited. So let's get into it. Let's see. We got so much to get into, you guys. So excited. So we're gonna get into it. I gotta head on today, y'all, because I literally look like what I've been through today. Okay. So whatever, we'll leave it there. Okay. So let's get into it, okay? Y'all, I'm super excited. We have a very jam-packed full show. Tons and tons of things to talk about, you guys. So let's get into it. Here you go. So okay, perfect. Okay, so before I get into anything, you guys know I got to give you something that I'm grateful for. And I will say that for today, I am really just grateful. I am really grateful that God knows me and truly knows who I am at my heart and doesn't fault me for being myself, right? I felt like today I kind of didn't want to do the show. I had like a really jam-packed full weekend. We've been really sick the past 2 weeks. And so I was just like, I kind of wanted to show tonight. Like, I need to get the house in order, And I'm like, just like a lot of things going on. I need to sit down and pen some things out. And I was like, no, I'm going to do the show. I'm still going to do it. And I was still just kind of, even though I was saying I was going to do it, I was still kind of iffy. But everywhere I turned on social media, when I was on social media, everything was saying, like, you got to stay committed to the dream. You got to be committed to yourself. Just wait on God. Don't trip. Like, you got to stay committed to the goal. The only thing that's going to change is if, the only time you're going to see change is if you don't give up. Stay committed. And I was like, you're right. I've seen so much. I've seen so many positive results I've seen so many positive results from me being committed and dedicated and consistent. And it's like, I don't want to give up now just because I'm not feeling it. So I'm really glad that God sent those reminders right when I needed them. And it didn't shame me. I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, nope, I'm going to stay committed. I'm going to get it done. So I think that I'm really grateful for God sending me those reminders to like, hey, remember why you started. And nothing changes if you never change. And if you want something different, you got to do something different. So definitely sticking to it, and really taking the time out to not just do it, but still being intentional and still being organized and doing it right. Because I was here on time today. Amen. So I'm super excited, y'all. We got a great show in store for you. That's what I'm grateful for. Just grateful for God, like, really knowing me. So let's get into it. So if you guys have seen, there is a video that was floating around last week over the weekend of a black male teacher who allowed female students to take his hair down. So there's a couple ways that I feel about this. Initially, I didn't feel that there was any. Okay, so let me be honest. Initially, when I saw the video floating around of the teacher who allowed the female students to take his hair down, I was a little taken back. It just didn't sit right with me. And I want to be honest because I feel as though I saw it through a sexual lens. Like, somehow, some way that was something like weird that he had about little girls. Like, that's how I initially saw it. And then I immediately said, you know what? That seeing male teachers interact with students, male or female, only through a sexual lens deters other black men who want to get into the field of helping with youth, whether it be education or whether it be coaching, whether it be even the health industry. So I decided, like, you know what, let me get out of that and look at it through this lens and give this teacher, who could very well be a pillar in his community, who could be such a positive role model, who could be a father figure for his students. Let me look at it like that and not this negative lens immediately. So that's how I started very through a sexual lens, and I try to take it back and look at it through a different lens. And I did, and I was like, I think it's important that we don't continue to subject black male teachers to some extremely high standard. We don't always have to make it a negative thing. And so that's how I felt, I guess that's my second thought after I saw the video. And then I saw that he was fired over the video, and it was kind of disheartening. I think male teachers are already in high demand, and there's so few of them in the schools. Like, we need more black male teachers, black male educators in the grade schools. Like, we need them. Elementary, middle, we need them. They are so important to the youth, and they just really add to the atmosphere when they're around. They're so important to have, and they're such a blessing to have, and we need more of them. So when I saw that he was fired, I was really sad about it, and I felt like people fought so hard and had so many negative things to say about it. Like, not only did this man lose his job, he's out of a job, the school is out of a teacher when we so desperately need teachers, because they're hiring damn near anybody off the street to be a sub, so he's out of a job. The school is out of a great employee in my mind at the time. The kids are out of a teacher that's committed to them. We're out of a positive role model. We're out of a male figure for the boys and for the girls. I just felt like when the family feuds, like that instance of that teacher getting fired, to me was the direct quote of when nobody wins when the family feuds. That's how I felt. And it was just so freaking sad. Like, I just did not like it. I was very just taken back. Did you see the teacher get fired, the male teacher get fired for having the girls take his hair down? If you did, what did you think about that? Like, what were your thoughts about that? I saw it, and like I said, I walked you guys through that. He got fired. I was like, this is not right. Like, this is bold. I just felt like people work so hard sometimes on social media, and they don't understand the impact of their words. Like, you don't understand that your one quote or you trying to be funny, like, really added on. Public opinion matters. And there's, you hear a lot of times people saying that they're being tried in a court of public opinion. And that matters. That adds fuel. So maybe nobody in the school really felt any type of way. He did get permission slip sign or whatever, consent forms to a lot of kids to be on camera in the school. According to, what I've seen in the school district, and everyone was, aware. One moment, Reem, the school district and everyone was aware of what he was doing. So the fact that public opinion came in so negative, that really contributed to them making a decision, ultimately terminating him. And so it's like we fight so hard sometimes for the wrong things. We fight so hard when there's already such a scarcity of male teachers, black male teachers in the educational system. And so I was just really disheartening. Someone said him being fired was overkill, not justified at all, in my opinion. That is exactly how I felt. I felt like it was too far. Could we talk about him lacking boundaries? Absolutely. Could we talk about there being a little bit more level of professionalism? Absolutely. I would not want to take those things off the table, and how he can better improve, his relationship with his kids and up his level of professionalism. I'm not against that. But to fire him, to me, was beyond, that was overkill. Like you just said, that was overkill. It was excessive. It was unnecessary. To me, that was a very clear sign to black male educators that under no circumstances should you be, it just felt like under no circumstances should you be young and relatable to your kids. Like, you don't want to be that. You need to be a firm military build. Don't let nobody get close to you. Don't get a good bond with your kids. Like, it just made me feel as though, I don't even know if y'all can see that. It just made me feel like it would further deter black male educators from entering the system, or aspiring black male educators to come into the education system. Like, it sent a bad taste in my mouth, and I felt like to other people. This is where it becomes tricky. So that's how I felt. Did you guys see the video that he posted apparently 2 years ago about being an emo? Comment below if you've seen that video, if you know what I'm talking about. So apparently 2 years ago, the same teacher actually posted a clip. So there was a young girl saying she liked emo boys, and he goes on to put on like an emo filter and sing some rock song, as if to say like he's an emo boy, but he was a teacher at the time. And that kind of comment that kind of thing really, it just took me back. And I want to say that being so quick and jumping the gun to assume that all male educators, especially black male educators, are sexual predators in the school district is so dangerous. It's dangerous to our children. It's dangerous to the men that want to come into the system. It's just dangerous overall, right? We have to do a better job at taking the time to properly investigate what is happening. We cannot allow 5-second clips, 3-second clips to determine someone's character, the level of professional. Like, we can't allow 3-second clips to be the complete determining factors of what is going on in a situation. We have to, as a culture, as a people, as a community, do a better job of properly investigating situations. Should we have investigated longer? Yes. Should we have taken it? Yes, before jumping the gun. And I know it's far-fetched asking people to do that, but we have to do a better job of properly investigating situations and not jumping the gun based on a 3-second clip, or hell, a 30-second clip, hell, a 60-second clip. It doesn't matter. We need to do our due diligence and properly investigating things. I'm going to talk about that. My mom was a teacher. The line of professionalism is not as solid as people claim. So before I get into what I was talking about, that video he made, I absolutely agree. I'm going to absolutely agree with you, because I can honestly say, like, when I was growing up in elementary school, my mom was like this with my teachers. Like, I'm not even going to joke. My mom is like this with my teachers. Like, I'm talking about, I was babysitting my math. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know if you guys can see those notifications. Hopefully it comes. Hopefully that came back on there. So I want to say this. I 100% agree with the fact that the line of professionalism is not as solid as people claim. I 100% agree. My mom was like this with my teachers, with quite a few of my teachers. I can honestly say I was babysitting my teachers' kids. I was. My teacher and my mom were like this. They used to gossip all the time. She would come over to our house. I don't know if her and my mom would leave or whatever, but I was babysitting her kids. I remember one time, I'm trying to remember why I was after school, but I remember one time I was late after school in elementary school, and my teacher took me to get Chinese food on Jefferson. I'm not joking. Like, I'm not even joking right now. And to this day, the Chinese food that she got me, I do not eat it. I hate it. It's like red chicken, has that red sauce. I was ready to gag, y'all. I hate it. To this day, like, the line of professionalism has not always been as solid as people would like to claim. I 100% agree, because I know that my teachers were doing things that just were not appropriate, or some people would deem inappropriate and unprofessional if it was recorded. That is the difference between the time that we live in now and the time that we lived in, because it is definitely not as clear. But what I will say is, not that it mattered or not that it makes sense, but teachers knew how to hide it better. It just wasn't open. You know what I'm saying? Teachers, and the difference between now and then is our teachers may have lacked some type of professionalism, but is nowhere near as extreme as it is now. And two, our teachers were not trying to be our friends. You know what I'm saying? There was a hierarchy. Like, looking back, like, my friends are teachers. I look back and I see how young my teachers were when they were teaching us. But they were never trying to be our friends. It was always a level of authority that they had. Not like a little professionalism, all right? Little boundaries come across. But it was never we're friends. And that's a lot of the times what we're seeing with these TikTok teachers. They look like the kids. They are interacting in the same spaces as the kids. And then sometimes, unfortunately, they want to be friends with these kids. And that right there is where the problem comes in. You can be relatable. You can be professional. You can have strong boundaries. You can be a great teacher. You can do all those things without actually having to be the friend of your students. And when they start trying to get into that friend area with their students, that's when you start seeing things like this happen. So I agree with you. That line of professionalism is not as solid as people like to think, because I know for a fact my teachers were doing things that they had no business doing. Even in middle school, my teachers were literally doing things that they should not have been doing. I'm never going to call them out. And even in high school, they were doing things they had no business doing. I'm not even going to joke. In high school, I went to one of my teacher's bars. I don't know if she took me home. I'm trying to figure out why was I at my teacher owned a bar. I'm trying to figure out why was I at my teacher's bar. I was with her though. I vividly remember being with her at her bar. You know what I'm saying? I remember being with my teacher at her bar because they own a bar. And I'm trying to figure out why. I can't remember in high school why I was with her at her bar, but I was with her at her bar. And so those things just always trigger, like, there is not as solid of a level there's not a solid level of professionalism like we like to think, but I can positively say that my teachers were not trying to be my friends, which kept that hierarchy. It kept you the student and I'm the teacher. It kept that space in there, and it allowed for certain things not to take place. Not to mention we weren't recording everything. I remember when having a camera on your phone was like the newest thing. Like, I hate to be old and corny, but I remember that. And so those type of things make the difference. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with you there, though. You said it's not fair to view black male teachers a certain way just because of their profession. His masculinity is automatically under scrutiny because of the career path he chose. Amen. You ain't saying nothing wrong. And not just his masculinity is under scrutiny, his intentions is under scrutiny. Why did a man want to become a teacher? Why did a black man want to become a teacher? Why? Because you want to get close to kids. Like, it really is an issue with black males that want to join the educational system, become teachers, become coaches. It's okay for women to want to coach boys, or, you know, interact with boys, or be boy coaches or be boy teachers, whatever. But the minute a man steps in to help girls, is automatically, and I think that level, that standard in that scrutiny is 100 times worse than what women experience when they enter. And I think that it has a lot to do with what we believe gender roles are. That's a problem. And this is kind of the negative side of gender roles and gender expectations, because naturally we think women are the nurturers and women are the teachers. And so when a man wants to step into a more typically defined feminine role, their intentions are automatically under fire. They're under scrutiny. And so I agree. And we have to do a better, that's why I said we have to do a better job of taking our time and then properly investigating situations, because if not, we're going to deter other little boys that want to be teachers from stepping into that field. They're going to go elsewhere when we so desperately need black male educators in the school system. We just do. So I definitely agree with you there. It's like a dangerous slope that we're sliding down, right? But back to him making that video. So like I said, he made a video in response to a student saying that she only liked emo boys. And in his video, he basically was like an emo boy. That type of shit right there makes me think that my initial thought was correct. When you make things that suggest you should be more appealing to kids and students, and you're in constant contact with kids, I think we need to get you on up out of there. So that's another thing. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. Based on the video, I don't know if it was actually a student that made the video, but I'm assuming it was a student that made that video. And after seeing that video and seeing his reaction to that student's video, I no longer believe that teacher getting fired was overkill. I do not believe that it was excessive, because even a grown man, I'll say this, no little girl, no teenager is fine enough to a grown man that don't like kids. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you even thought it was funny, that you thought it was cute, that you was going to make a video like this as a teacher and put that out there, lets me know that something up here ain't clicking. And for that, my mans, you has to go. So initially, no, I did not think that, I thought it was excessive for him to be fired. But after seeing that reaction video that he made to a student, I think that he needs to go. He needs to be gone. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you something else. This is like petty, and I'm very particular about some little things like this, because to me they're somehow like nasty. He had some puff balls in his head in his video. To me, that was kind of childish. And to me, that puff ball in your head was you mirroring a teenage boy because you want to attract teenage. Like, it's a whole, I ain't even go down there. But after further review and letting things just kind of pop up in the media and reading things, I no longer feel as though that teacher who allowed female students to play in his hair or take his hair down, I no longer believe that him being fired was excessive. I think that it was right on. I think it was right on par. Like, he needed to be fired. I think that even if there has been nothing that has truly bubbled to the surface outside of that video, and there's been no real suspicious interactions with the students, the fact that he made that video alone is enough for me. Is enough ammo to say he needs to get him up out of there. So yeah. Yes. Lord. Okay, one moment. As y'all know, I'm a single mom, and I have to single mom sometimes. So give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. That's it. No more food. You're done? Okay. One moment, you guys. What are you talking about? Are you pooping?
Yeah, you didn't wipe all the poop, don't you?
I did wipe all the poop, Kareem.
No, you didn't. You did not wipe this gun.
Kareem, you're fine. You must have pooped some more. Okay, you're fine. You're welcome, baby. I love you the most. Okay, I'm back. Thank you guys for holding on. I'm so sorry about that. My kid was pooping. Okay, so that's what I think about that. So yeah, that was long. I didn't mean to make that long, you guys. Okay, but we're gonna move forward. We're gonna keep it going because I have a whole bunch I want to talk to you guys about. Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to all the moms. Woo woo woo. How was your Mother's Day? If you got any moms in the building, tell me, how was you guys' Mother's Day? Let's see. How was your Mother's Day? I'm paying comment. So let's get that. How was your Mother's Day? So, I'll be very honest, you guys. My Mother's Day was really good. That weekend, last weekend, was my niece T's birthday. Her birthday was Saturday. And so my sisters and the kids and I and my sister's fiance and his family and whatnot, we all went down to Kalahari to celebrate my niece T's birthday. And so we stayed from Saturday to Sunday at Kalahari. So I enjoyed my Mother's Day. I didn't do much. We had got home later Sunday, kind of like late Sunday morning, early afternoon from Kalahari. And so I kind of just relaxed and rest most of the day because we had such a fun-filled night before or whatever. And it was a nice drive. It was a 2-hour drive. So have you guys ever been to Kalahari? I know that they have several locations. I went to the one in Ohio, but have you guys ever been to Kalahari? If so, let me know. Drop your experiences in the comments section. Let me know what you think. So I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty. I see you guys joining in. Have you guys ever been to Kalahari? If so, drop your thoughts and your experiences in the comment section. I'm going to keep this Kalahari experience really brief, right? Because I definitely want to shout out to our sponsors today. And we got some other things I want to talk about. So I'll keep it really brief. One, I do not think that Kalahari is worth the fucking money that you have to spend to stay. This is the problem with Kalahari. It was almost $400 for us to stay one night. Not joking. Almost $400, okay? But there was 4 people in the room. So, and that the amount of people in the room matters because that's how they give you your wristbands. So, this is the thing. I do not believe that it was worth the money that we spent, $400 for one night. This is the issue I have with that. If check-in, because most people don't arrive early. I don't know. Maybe some people do, but as far as I know, most people do not arrive early prior to checking in. They usually try to get in. You might go somewhere if you're flying out. You might come in early and go to a different, somewhere to eat and then go to your hotel to check in. So most people typically don't arrive too much earlier than their check-in time. So check-in for Kalahari is 4 p.m. The pool for Kalahari closes at 9. If I only have 5 hours in the pool, I only have 5 hours in the pool. So I got there at 4. It closes at 9. What? So it's like I only have 5 hours. If you're traveling with your family, that means you guys have the time you got to check in, which can take a while because we'll talk about that. So check-in can take 25, 30 minutes max. It shouldn't take that long, but it can take 25, 30 minutes. You got to get everybody upstairs. You got to get everybody situated. You got to get your family. So that can take another 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most. Now it's 5 o'clock. The pool closes in 4 hours. You want to be able to take your kids down there. You can eat down there. But to me, that's just not a lot of time if you really want to do a lot of exploring and be able to go to all the parks and whatnot with your kids, including bathroom breaks, time to sit down, things like that. 4 hours is not a lot of time. Okay, so I don't like the fact that there's such a late, well, not such a late check-in, but I don't like the fact that I do not believe you can check in prior to your check-in time and get access to the pool. I do not believe you can do that. So you have 4 o'clock to check in, which is check-in time. The pool closes at 9. So you only have like 3 to 4 hours in the pool out of the entire day. That's a whole day that's gone, really. Okay, so not only that, this is the kicker part. Checkout is at 11. Everybody knows that. The pool does not open until 10 a.m. If you decide like, hey, we just only have money to stay one night, we're just going to go, you are only able to get in the pool for 4 hours. Unless, and absolutely less, you're going to go to the pool for 1 hour before you have to check out. So I don't like Kalahari. I don't feel like it's worth the money. I did not like the checkout time. I did not like the time that the pool opened. Not to mention there was an issue with checking in for us. In my experience, I've rented rental cars dozens of times. I've had hotel rooms dozens of times. When you have to place a hold on your car for like accidentals and things like that, you're usually told up front. This is my issue with Kalahari. We went to check in, and then we were told upon check-in that we need to pay. There needs to be a $200 additional hold placed on our account. Now, this is not an issue. Typically it's not an issue because you know up front. But the issue with that is we've already paid for our room. We were not expecting to have to put anything additional on our card because what do you mean? Like that should have been something up front. So they tell us at the kiosk, $200. We get to the desk, they tell us $100. So now I'm trying to figure out, why are you guys lying? Why is it $200 at the kiosk? And why is it $200 at the kiosk but $100 at the desk? And not only that, why are we just now finding out about this once we got here? That is something that families should be informed of so that they can make the proper arrangements with their money. Like, why would y'all wait till we get here to tell us that we need the additional $200? What if we didn't have $200? What if we didn't have an extra $100? What if we really only had the money for our room and the little food that we brought with us so that we can enjoy our time? I didn't like that. Not to mention that while we were at Kalahari, my sister definitely experienced some discrimination. We were told that because my niece has a disability that she should have gone somewhere that could better accommodate her disability. And we were told by someone, my sister was told that by someone at the front desk. So Kalahari for me is absolutely not worth the money. It's definitely a fucking scam, and they are very discriminatory there. And for that reason alone, I will never be visiting that place again. And I hope you guys don't visit there again either. Yeah, it's just fucking unacceptable. Point blank. Moving forward, I do want to send a huge thank you to tonight's sponsors. Huge shout out to Carter's Gourmet Popcorn and our people over in My Place Studio, which is a premier content studio. Make sure you guys check them out. And if you have not checked out Carter's Gourmet Popcorn, make sure you head over there. You can actually find them somewhere on our page. Make sure you check out Carter's Gourmet Popcorn and book them. You can buy just personal popcorn for your family nights, or if you have an event for party favors, definitely check them out. You guys definitely should get some. So yeah, shout out to our sponsors. Jumping right into it, there is another video that is going viral the past 48 hours. There's a father mentioning how he and his brothers jumped the father of a young girl who was bullying his daughter. He says that after several attempts of reconciliation or resolving the situation, nothing worked out. He said that they sent letters, that they had meetings, that they've asked her nicely, and it didn't work. So he and his brothers took it upon themselves to go see that young girl's father and jump him in front of his daughter to send a very clear message. Now I'm going to tell you like this. Listen, and I don't think, Jamil Hill made a very good point that, sometimes extreme situations call for extreme methods, all right? And I ain't mad at it. She also mentioned how violence has plagued our community and how it is so detrimental to black men and black boys. Couldn't agree more. I think she made two very valid, absolute points. I want to say this, that oftentimes you see when a man and a woman get into it, if there's a man with that woman and he can't hit a woman, he gonna hit the man. So I feel him. If I can't tie that little girl little ass up, I'm gonna tell your mama ass up. And that's just how it is. And I think that she's traumatized. She'll be all right. I'm with the father. I also think that could have went south and it could have been very bad. Thank God it didn't. But on the flip side, I feel like it's okay. Oh well. Some L's gonna have to be taken. I think that and the suicide rate amongst children is far too high, and a lot of it is due to bullying. If he's done everything that he can possibly do to help his daughter and to separate them and to really put an end to the situation and to no avail, whoop her ass. I'm sorry, not whoop her ass. Whoop her daddy ass. I'm about to jump your daddy. Me and my brother's gonna beat your daddy ass because you can't get the message. So now you see me beat your daddy ass. And I want you to think every single time you think about fucking with my daughter, do you want me to beat your daddy up? Do you want me to whoop your daddy ass? And if you don't want me to tear your daddy ass up, keep your motherfucking mouth closed when it comes to mine. Keep your hands to yourself and keep your mouth closed when it comes to mine. I know vibes, it could turn out bad and we'd all be singing a much different tune if it did. But I ain't gonna cap on with the daddy. The only part that I don't agree with is him recording it. And I think that we have to do a better job of thinking about things before we record them. Now, I just said that. How ironic would it be if I go viral for some shit I said that's not necessarily good after saying that? That'd be so weird, right? But anyways, I think that what the daddy did was right. I'm on the daddy side. I agree that violence is not, I don't always agree that violence is not the answer. I think sometimes violence is not. I think violence is more of the answer. I think violence is the answer more often than we like to admit, quite frankly. That's how I feel. Violence is the answer more often than we like to think. It definitely is. More often than we like to think, it really is the answer. So I'm agreeing with the daddy. I think the daddy made the right decision. I think that delaying that could prevent it, could potentially be the death of his daughter. Her daddy would be okay, she would be okay, and his daughter would be dead from suicide because they did all they could do and nothing worked out for her. So I think that it's a good message to send. I think it sends a clear message to her people. It sends a clear message to another bully. Like, think about that kid you gonna bully. Do you know if that kid daddy can whoop your daddy ass? Or if that kid mama can whoop your mama ass? I think they sent a good message. I think they shouldn't have recorded that. I don't think he should have recorded that, and we should know about it. But hey, I think that's what I think about that. And I think that's really all I got for today, guys. I have some other things I want to talk about, but you know what? The more I think about it, I want to share my thoughts about turning 30 next week because my birthday is my birthday is exactly 2 weeks from today. But I think next week I'll do my thoughts on turning 30 because it'll be a little closer. So, so let's really wrap this up. Overall, I definitely think that the teacher being fired for allowing the young girls to play in his hair was not excessive. I think that after looking over his page and it coming to the light, the previous video that he made about being emo was definitely inappropriate, and it is a red flag for an educator that has to be in constant contact with kids. We don't want people like that. On the flip side of that, we also have to be cautious as a people, as a culture, as a community about only viewing male educators through a sexual lens. It is dangerous. It is unsafe, and it can be crushing the dreams of other little boys who are inspired by their male teachers to become teachers. And I get that we want to protect our kids, and I 100% want to protect our kids, but we also need to do our due diligence when it comes to investigating situations like this. Because taking our time and being patient and waiting until the facts play out is also a way of protecting our kids, and that's important. Second of all, Kalahari, y'all, don't visit. I wouldn't go back, and if I do, I'll find a way to maybe have somebody else pay for it. Most importantly, do what you're gonna do. Stop recording it. If you gotta beat the kid parent ass, if you gotta beat the parent of the child that's bullying your child ass, then beat their ass. Just stop getting on her telling us about it. Because at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do to protect your child. However, I would advise doing so cautiously, because you might bring a fist to a gunfight. Okay? So we need to be careful, and we also need to be mindful of the message, again, that we're sending to children. And we need to always keep in mind to protect our children as best as possible. However, if I can't get to you, I gotta get to you, mama, and that's just what it is. So, be careful. Be careful. Honestly, yeah, just be careful. And always remember that the goal is always to live for our kids, not to die for our kids. And do the best that we can while we're on this side and keeping them safe and protecting them. So yeah, I think that's really all I got. I'm going to give you guys what I'm grateful for. I think that I'm really grateful for tonight's episode. I appreciate you guys engaging. I love to hear it. Next week, I'm going to see if somebody want to... Oh, I can't next week. Next week, I got a guest, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it and wait for you guys to see it. So, yeah. But I think I'm just grateful for tonight's episode. Staying committed. Grateful for God sending them signs to me to help me remember why I started. So, yeah. Super grateful. That's all I got. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this Tuesday like you do every Tuesday. We had a great show, and I can't wait to see y'all next Tuesday. So that's all I got. My name is Sherelle, you guys. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Peace.